Welcome to Buried Truth, where I tell the wildest stories in the Bible with a mouth that still needs Jesus. This isn't a polished Bible study. It's real, unfiltered, and a little bit messy. Ancient scandals, modern mess, and somehow grace still wins. Can I be honest with you? I stepped away for a minute because recording was a lot, editing, doing it myself, and working full time and having a family. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it was just for a time. But then y'all started acting like fools. Y'all started being wild out in these streets. And I was like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to tell your people? And who better to share my messy mouth with than y'all? So I'm back. I've got some things to say and get ready for it. Okay. So are we okay? Because I don't think we are. I don't think we are. If we open up any of your social media feeds and read around, people are angry. People are yelling, screaming, acting a fool, wilding out like we don't have no sense. Okay? You need some therapy, you need some medication, you need Jesus, all of those. Jesus more, but maybe let's try those and take a deep breath, okay? It's okay. We all have been there. We've all had anger. Let's focus. Let's zoom in. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the first murder ever recorded, because people may say, "Well, I never murdered." Okay. Have you been angry enough to hurt somebody? I have. Just the other day. Just the other day, I was in Taco Bell. Probably shouldn't have been in Taco Bell, but their quesarito is bomb. Anyway, on my lunch break, and I went through the drive-through, and I had to pull out to get to where I needed to go, and there was so much traffic that I couldn't exit the driveway for the Taco Bell. And you want to know what happened? This bitch honked at me for not pulling out because there's cars in the way. Not today, boo. Not today. Not any day. And she's throwing her hands back there. Do you know what this sanctified woman of God, love Jesus, did? I flipped her off. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, not today. Because people act all tough and bad when you're in the car, but you say something back to them, and then what do? They cower. I'm not the one, boo boo. I am not the one or the two. But you know what's funny? I was talking to my husband about it. He's like, you can just let it go. No, I'm not going to let it go. No, I'm not going to let it go. And then I'm reminded it's me. It's in me. Saved, unsaved, we're a mess. That's why we need Jesus. And that's why the Bible is so important, because we get to see the big picture and how, why, when, and where all of this went down, and that there's hope in the midst of it. So let's get into it, you guys. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the first recorded murder. I love me some true crime. I don't like the gory stuff, though. And I don't like it when there's kids involved, because that's just some trauma and triggering for me. But do I love a good story? Yes, please. True crime, yes. Because in my, other former life, no, sorry, I don't believe in former lives because I believe in Jesus. But I'm saying in my alter ego, like, I want to be a cop. I wanted to be a cop. Like, let's take them down. But Jesus knew better. He knew better, because you know what? One, I'd be like, I am going to be the one that does not take you to prison. I'm going to take you straight and take you out. Okay, you will meet Jesus today. There is no way on God's green earth that I could sit here and be arresting people and hearing and seeing what they're doing and not just take them out. Be like, I handle it for you, God. Are you happy? Are you happy? And he's like, boo, you just need to work in accounting. Yes, you do. You need to work in accounting. And then what did I see? What did I see recently? You could be like an accountant for the FBI and so you still get a gun? I'm not good with the gun. Don't give me a gun because I don't play around. I'm still being sanctified, y'all. I'm still being sanctified. Do not give this girl a gun. Well, I do believe in the right to bear arms. So don't quote me because I believe you got to have your gun, America. Because if the good guys have guns and they give their guns back, who still has them? The bad guys. Okay, don't get me started. Let's go back to Cain and Abel. Okay, let's go back to Cain and Abel. Okay, so the story I I've shared it in previous episodes, but just go with me. Basically, it's two brothers, the first children of Adam and Eve. So y'all didn't even wait. All of a sudden, y'all out of control. You're the first children, you're already out of control. Like, what does that say for the rest of us? So it's in Genesis 4. The brothers bring offerings to God. Abel's is accepted, Cain's is rejected. And God talks to Cain about it because Cain had an attitude. He was mad. He was like, you don't like my gift? What is so great about my brother's gift? Well, that's what I picture them saying. I wasn't there, but I can see it. This is my persona version. But you want to know something? God warns him. God's like, hey, boo. Well, he probably didn't call him boo. He probably was like, hey, dude. Or maybe not dude. Maybe just like, bro. Okay, we'll go with bro. I don't think this is the word that God, Jesus and God, because Jesus and God and Jesus, the Heavenly Father and the Holy Spirit, they're all together. They're all one. That's a whole nother thing. We'll talk about another time if you have questions. But anyway, so they're chilling. And he's like, yo, bro. Sin is crouching at the door. You need to rule over it. Meaning his anger was crouching at the door. So one doesn't mean anger was bad. Think about that. It doesn't mean that anger is wrong in the right circumstances. But God is telling him, don't let it rule over you. Are we seeing a pattern today? We don't know how to handle our anger. I just told you mine. You probably have a story too. So Cain was given a choice. And you know what? What did he do with that choice? He said, you know, God, I think I know better. I'm going to go out into the field and kill my brother because you didn't like my offering. Now, what in the CSI is going on here? Okay. Because God didn't like it. And he gave you a chance to be like, hey, what's going on? Like, he could have went to God and said, I'm really upset about this. I feel like you were nicer. You know, whatever came from. I'm not him. But he didn't. He was like, I'm so angry. I'm going to kill my brother. Now, let's be real with each other. Have you ever been that angry? Have you ever been that angry where you're ready to hurt somebody? I mean, I told you my story, but I have a deeper story is I've been angry. I've been so rageful before, y'all don't even want to know. And because of God, he was faithful to me because I'm telling you, it's almost scary to be that angry because you can't see past it. So that's the question for yourselves. Have you ever been that angry? And what do you do with that anger? Do you let it fester? Do you let it just sit and, sit there? Do you make plans? What are you doing? Because anger is not the sin. It's what you do with it. And you don't have the power to control it. That's why you need Jesus. Okay? Okay. So Cain thought he knew better. He ignored the warning. His anger and his pride got the best of him. Okay. Where are we seeing that today? Where are we seeing that today? I see it with all of these protesters. Don't get me started. We all have the right to protest. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to take your rights. I'm trying to say we have the beautiful option. I don't know. Is beautiful the right word? We are gifted the option to be able to go stand and to vote and to protest, to have your voice heard. Do you know that's an America thing? And for all y'all who hate America, then go to another country and tell me how it goes. We probably won't come back. We probably be like, oh, my truth. And then they throw your ass off a building. Okay, like let's just keep it real. And I'm coming from a place where I have a special insight to some of the things because I was raised in a religion that was not very kind to women, is not very kind to women. And so I was raised in that. So you cannot come and tell me otherwise because I lived it. I don't want you coming in being like, no, that's not, it's a peaceful religion. Have you read it? Have you read their book? Because I don't think you have. Or you anyway, don't get me, that's not what I came to talk about. So anyway, and this, you guys, is what kind of brought me back, is watching the news and seeing how people are getting so upset about something that they don't really know the truth about. They don't know. You're seeing one version of it. You're seeing one side of it. And then you're thinking you know better. And we don't. We always need to go back to facts, not our feelings. And coming from a girl who is in her feelings all the time. My husband yesterday, y'all, he was trying to show me because I made a mess. And he's like, hey, when you throw the trash away, can you do it this way? And what did I do? I got all upset in my feelings because I thought he was being mean to me. He wasn't being mean to me. I just got in my feelings. And he was like, ugh, of course he's so sweet. I don't know why he puts up with my ass. I wouldn't. I'd be like, girl, you got to go. But anyway, back to what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. And I'm talking about we need to be a people who has self-control, is willing to listen to the other person, and does not rage out because they don't agree with you. You can believe whatever you want. That is your right. I might think you're stupid, and that's okay. And you can think I'm stupid. That's okay, boo. That's okay. You don't have to agree with me, but you don't get to shove it down my face and tell me what to believe. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, not today. You can believe that the fairy tale, but does it make it all true? Not always. Okay? Let's agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree. This is the messy middle where I get a little bit more unhinged than the previous recording. Okay? Let's get into it. You know what I was thinking? It has nothing to do with messy middle. It has to do with a quesarito. I said something about a quesarito, and now I'm going to ask my husband to go get me one. Anyway, that's how my squirrel brain works. So the messy middle. We were just talking about how out of control the public is right now. The temperature in our country right now is out of control. And I mentioned something about different perspectives. Like some people see it one way, some people see it another. And isn't that the truth in this whole situation in Minnesota? Minnesota, are you okay? Do you need us? I mean, is the cold getting to your brains? Like, is it so cold that you can't think straight? Like, can someone check on Minnesota? Well, I think we are checking on Minnesota, and now they're out of their minds. Okay, let's get to the story that everybody's talking about right now, and it's the heartbreaking story, the tragedy of Renee Good, who tragically lost her life. And I want to start there because no matter what I think, no matter what you think, some children have lost their mother. Okay. And that is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. I mean, I know we've heard stories about the type of mama she is, but that is all hearsay. Doesn't matter. These babies don't have a mama or a dad, from what I understand. And like I said from what I understand, because I'm looking at different resources. I'm not just taking a word for it and just spilling it out to you guys. So what happened is there was a incident with there's an ICE agent who shot Renee Good. Where people go off the ramp, off the runway, is, did she hit him? Did she not hit him? Does he have the right to shoot her? Now, I talked to my brother a little bit about this because he was in the military and he did some things, and I have a lot of questions. I'm very inquisitive about things. So because you know what, you guys, when I first saw the video, I said that seems a little excessive. Like, wow, why would he do that? And then I started getting the other angles, and I'm like, hold up. So the first question is, why did he shoot her 3 times? That's what I was thinking, the why 3 times. But I was talking to my brother about it, and he said, Rasana, you don't understand that when you're in that kind of situation, you shoot until the threat is gone. Until the threat is gone. I was like, okay, well, that makes a little bit more sense. And then he was telling me stories about he said there's been times where he's like, I can show you videos, and he that a person's been shot multiple times and is still able to harm somebody else and kill somebody else, even though they've been shot that many times. And it's like a 21-foot rule or something like that. I don't know if you guys are police officers or military. He said, like, if you're within 21 feet, someone can hurt you. And I think that's the thing that people aren't realizing, is that the ICE agents are in a very high stakes job right now. Can we all just agree on that? There are people on both sides fighting, saying it's wrong. There's others saying it's right. Get them. And we're so divided about it. I wasn't there. You weren't there. You're not her. You're not him. So you don't know. We don't know. So let's just stop and let's just think about that. Okay. I'm not trying to justify. I'm not trying to minimize. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying, take a minute and breathe, because I saw every single angle of the video, multiple angles. And then there was the part where he was recording on his phone. And that was another thing my brother mentioned. He said he was recording for his, it's like you go around and you record for your safety and to get their license and stuff. It's like, it was for protection, something like that. So I was like, oh, that's why I was walking around. So, cause I'm not I'm not a cop. I'm not a federal agent. I think I am. Sometimes I'm like, I will bust the damn door down. But I'm not. Okay. And neither are you. We can all have our perspective, but when we start, what's the word? Dissecting, like we know, we don't know. And what is ICE? What is their job? One of them is human trafficking. Yes, they get the bad guys that are doing human trafficking and like international law. They do a lot of things to get the bad guys. Now, I'm not saying that what they're doing, that the people are bad guys. I'm not saying that at all. But they are enforcing federal law. Federal law supersedes state law, no matter what you think, no matter what you believe. Those are the facts. The facts are, you can protest, you can disagree, you can, make your voice heard, you can run for office, you can vote. You have all of these privileges that a lot of countries do not have. So stop pretending that this woman was just minding her own business. She was blocking the road. Should she have died for it? I didn't say that. I wasn't there. But she also shouldn't have charged her car towards an officer, because originally he wasn't in front of her car. If you watch it, he was on the side recording, and then it turned. And then what happened? Now this is disputed. Did he hear the man has internal bleeding? Okay. Let's take down the temperature and look at facts. Is it sad that someone is gone? Yes, it's terrible. It's sad. But you don't get to do what you want to do and say, fuck the laws. I'm here. It's my truth. I'm here to protect these people. You don't get to do that. And I don't know if your mama didn't tell you or your daddy didn't tell you. You are not the center of the universe, and you don't get to just do what you want to do. There's cause and there's effect. Do you get to go drive down a road and just block it? No, especially not in open carry and concealed and open carry states. If I'm driving down the road and someone blocks my way for me getting to my house, no, boo boo, no. I got bubble guts. I need to get to my house. You better move your car. And that is me as a citizen, not as a police officer. Okay. So let's stop this rhetoric of, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that. Have you seen the things that are going on where they're harassing them, where allegedly this woman had been following him all day? That is not protesting, that's stalking. You tell me someone follow me all throughout the day that I'm not going to be on high alert to be like, and you already have people who hate you, who are ready to fight and act grown. And then here's the crazy part. Did you see the video where after he shoots the wife, supposedly it's actually not her wife, but anyway, I'm not going to go down these rabbit hole trails. That the wife says, I can't, you had real bullets. What kind of simulation do you think you're in? This isn't a video game. This isn't pretend. This is a real life situation. And we need to grow up, put our big boy pants on, and realize there's cause and effect. Okay? Okay. And do you think I'm gonna throw a wrench in everything? Okay, because I work on numbers. Numbers is my jam. Did nobody think, or does anybody think like I do, where I'm like, hold up. It's very convenient that this awful situation happened, but isn't it convenient that everybody in Minnesota's like, get them, get the ice, they're bad. Homie, aren't you the same people that have people stealing billions of dollars underneath your nose? I think you need to handle your state. I think you need to handle your state, figure out where the fraud is. Because what do I say? Follow the money. And I was watching a recording yesterday where so I was out in the street and they're talking about like, oh, everybody does fraud. No, not everybody does fraud. Okay, let's not like say that. And it was like admitting to fraud. Y'all, something stinks and nobody is talking about it. Everybody is like, oh, don't look over here, look over here. Because did you watch the interview with the owner? It was either the owner or a representative where there's accusations that there was fraud, that there were children in the daycare, all this crazy stuff. And by coincidence, somebody burglarized the daycare and only took the paperwork. What kind of idiot do you think we are? So someone's going to burglarize something just like, I just need this paperwork. I'm going to risk going to prison for some paperwork. Get out of here with your lying asses. I mean, I can't. This is not a race thing, because if y'all didn't know I'm brown, this is not a race thing. This is a corrupt situation that needs to be handled. And whether you like it or not, people are tired of it. People are tired of being taken advantage of. They're tired of being expected to just put up with it because a small percentage doesn't want ICE and all that stuff. No, we do. We need law and order. We need law and order, not the show, even though the show is good, to run a country. Try going to any of those other countries. They have laws. You can't even speak out. Go to Iran right now. You can't even speak out. You say, I don't like before you even finish the sitting president, you dead. Bye. No, not here anymore. You have the right and the privilege to be able to say what you need to say, but you don't get to get in the middle of things that are federal law. Do me a favor. Look up some of these horrific stories that people who were murdered, raped, all those things by illegal aliens. Does it happen with other people? Absolutely. But we cannot ignore the facts and pick and cherry pick. And that's for both sides. That's for both sides. Because if you watch one side, it tells you one thing. You watch the other side, it tells you another thing. That's why it is important that you don't outsource the truth. You look at yourself. You read for yourself. You do the work that goes behind it. We don't just take somebody else's word, because everybody has a reason for why they're doing what they're doing. Okay? And don't get me started on the Venezuelan people are fighting for that president. Do you know how evil that man was or is, and his wife? Did you read what he's accused of? Because I went, and it's a lot of pages, and you can just go on the department. I don't remember which department. Anyway, you can go on one of the government department, and it has the affidavit and all that stuff there, so you can read it. It's pretty rough. And people are crying and thanking America, specifically Trump, for saving them. I mean, don't listen to the people that are from that country. Don't just go and be like, well, what? Go listen to them and hear what they have to say. It's so sad. It's heartbreaking. And y'all need to stop being blinded by hate, your hatred for a person, that you'd rather sit in rage of a person than what is really going on in this world and what really needs to be. And if y'all talk about the Epstein files one more damn time, here's the thing. The other side had it for how long? The other side had it for how long? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying those shouldn't be released. But y'all over here be like, release the files for one freak, Jeffrey Epstein. And yet you're totally ignoring the people that are actually assaulting women. Not that he did it. I'm not saying Epstein did it. I'm saying y'all need to get your shit together, knock it off, get yourself right, and let's talk it out. We don't got to be fighting like this. This is too much. It's too much. Mom, I don't have time for this. Okay. I'm not here to fight people. I'm here to be like, y'all need Jesus, some therapy, medication, and Jesus. And just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And that's your messy middle, y'all. Now that I probably just offended a bunch of people, let's get back to the point. The whole point of this story of Cain and Abel was not just that Cain was angry and he murdered his brother. Much deeper is that God was gracious to Cain, even despite his sin and despite what he did. Not to say that he, didn't have a consequence. Of course he had a consequence. But the point is the Bible is always pointing to Jesus, and that the anger, the rage, all those emotions are, yes, part of the human experience, but it's also part of the broken experience. We're broken because of our hearts and how we are sinful people. And the only way to be healed from that is through Jesus Christ. That is why he came. Yes, he came as a baby, but he also grew up to be a man who God required perfection, and he was perfect for us because we can never be perfect. And if we take upon Jesus as our Savior, the sins that we've committed and will commit are on his shoulders that he carried. He was buried, he died, he was buried, he rose again. And that, you guys, is our hope, our only hope in this messed up world. Before we go, I wanted to mention that I'm going to be starting a Buried Truth book club. I will be recommending some books at the end of each episode, something that piqued my interest, something that I read and I've just really enjoyed. Just so you know, they're going to be Christian fiction. That is the genre I listen to in Audible and read as well. I'm mostly Audible right now because I like to listen to it while I'm at work. And so we will be digging in to some fictional books that are really good. First book is going to be The Waterkeeper by Charles Martin. It's one of my favorite series of books. And just an FYI, there's a trigger warning. Some of the topics, or a lot of the topics, deal with human trafficking, child exploitation, things like that. So if that is something that you are not interested in hearing, I understand. So also, we were in Genesis chapter 4 in regards to Cain and Abel. I ask that you read it for yourself, dig in, ask questions. Don't outsource the truth is the biggest things, because this is where we're getting a little bit off kilter when we just accept somebody else's word. And until next time, stay curious, stay rooted in truth.